We'll look at, in Chapter 6, you talk about rethinking the 21st century civil rights. What is that chapter about?
What that chapter is about is called the absence of advocacy. Now, what we see now is a period in our life where there is no real activism. Mm-hmm. We have TV activists, we have press conference activists, sure, who really don't want to get down in the struggle and confront the powers of struggle. They want to do it from afar. Mm-hmm. Okay? I talk about how this whole conversation around even Obama, how largely it's driven by public intellectuals, and with the exception of Sharpton. Sharpton is the only one that has true civil rights roots. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is either a commentator or a public intellectual. Sure. When you look at Cornel West, when you look at Michael Eric Dyson, okay, when you look at some of the other experts, Perry Harris. Sure. These are academicians, public intellectuals who are now pushing the conversation, and the activists have created a void because there are no activists. Largely because they figure they will never, ever, ever be able to pay us what they owe us. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so they've, by and large, we ain't giving nobody nothing, So much of the poverty that we see, that some of the current noise is talking about in terms of Tavis and Cornell, sure, all of that is a vestige from slavery. Okay? Black people never caught up. Mm-hmm. When you were emancipated or manumitted, or just freed, right? And just say, if somebody told you right now today, okay, that you were working for, okay, you're free to go. Mm-hmm. Okay, no money, no nothing, no severance. Okay, unless you made a way.
I'll see you tomorrow. I don't want to go.
Right,
I'll see you tomorrow.
Right. And so we have been asked to do something that has never ever been asked to do, that we've never been asked to do, which is to repair ourselves. Mm. Everybody else has been reparated, mm-hmm, but black people got to repair themselves. And so that's why I think America's never going to get over blackness, because they somehow think that once we're repaired, that we may act as they have acted, mm-hmm, in terms of seeking some type of retribution. Mm-hmm. And so that's, it's the next 20 years is going to be interesting, because the next 20 years we will have the largest senior population, sure, that America's ever had. Mm-hmm. You can tell a society by how they treat their old people, mm-hmm, and how they treat their children. That's how you tell a society. Okay.
Fascinating afternoon. Thank you once again for sharing with us your book, REELURBANNEWS. Once again, a great read. Your optimism and your insight about our society and the direction that we're moving into the 21st century is fascinating, and it also gives us a sign of hope. I thought it was fascinating that you talk about another bad guy as mm-hmm, Michael Jackson.
Right.
And just obviously his imprint, mm-hmm, on the globe.
Right. Well, I wanted to close the book with a bang. Mm-hmm. I didn't really want to close the book with the president's chapter because, while that is noble, I didn't think they really understood, the cultural aspect of what is going on right now. Mm-hmm. I think that the one thing that has occurred in the last 10 years outside of the election of Barack Obama is the death of Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Michael Jackson was such a significant cultural phenomenon, that because of the fact that the latter part of his career was clouded by accusation, sure, that they really didn't understand his cultural imprint. Okay. They began to understand a little bit of it in the aftermath of his death, in the immediate aftermath. Mm-hmm. But 3 years since his death, I think they now really understand how bad that boy was. And I entitled the chapter, you probably have to bleep it out on your website, but I simply entitled it "The Baddest Motherfucker I Ever Saw."
Sure.
You know, because Michael Jackson just didn't make us feel good. He made us feel great. Every time one of his songs comes on the radio, you feel great.
Sure.
You know, from the very first time we saw him, we knew that there was something different about him. And they tried to replicate it. You know, they tried the Silvers and the Osmonds.
Sure.
And, you know, they tried to bring about other child groups. But those child groups didn't jump off because there was only one Michael Jackson. And then when he became an adult, and he basically put that same soul and emotion into his music, people really understood that Michael Jackson had made a global imprint. Even regardless of what they were saying about him in the United States, all he had to do was leave the country to really understand what his importance was. And that's what he did. I think that Michael Jackson reinvented soul, but he also instilled soul in a soulless world, okay, in terms of them understanding the impact and effect that soul music could have on the world. Michael Jackson popularized soul music beyond the United States in a way nobody had ever done.
Your book, REELURBANNEWS, is a great read.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your time and this insight with me and REELURBANNEWS.com.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, and invite me back, please.
We will.
Thank you.